Whatever happened to the happiness? Do what you want to get it back for us. You take your time, then let me know if you wanna stay or if you wanna go. I know you have difficulty knowing me, but you don't have difficulty showing me that we just need to get away. I'll take you on a wild adventure if you want to go. We're locked in places, sing together, please just let me know. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. We haven't got unlimited time. Sun is out and you get to your prime. We're falling for love, we're falling for lust, we're falling through everything. You see the summer's getting closer. We don't feel like we are getting older. So show me what you have to bring. I'll take you on a wild adventure if you want to go. We're locked in places, sing together, please just let me know. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. Another chance to change this. Holding on to what we find. We don't wanna lose this fight. You, me, and gravity. Brave enough to give it all. Knowing that the flame will fall. You, me, and gravity. 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 Frozen over like I am. Well, I know you know that like it's colder, colder when I'm older, older than I am. And I know you know that I have lost composure, but I'll hold you closer while I can. I never told you that I'm slightly broken, that I might lose focus when I am. I know you know that life gets colder, colder when you're frozen over like I am.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Revival League Season 2 Lower Bracket Finals. My name is Retro, and you heard it correct. These are the lower bracket finals, meaning that this is the penultimate game of Season 2. After this, we've only got the grand finals that will be between the victor of this game going up against Arctic Wolves. That will be going on tomorrow afternoon. And we have a pretty exciting matchup here. Not only is it Premier League versus Champions League, 5STARS being the only remaining Premier League team still surviving in the playoffs and representing Premier League in its entirety, really, but it is also a rematch. Of course, we've had 5STARS versus ETERNO in the upper bracket semifinals going up against each other. That was a pretty interesting game all across the board. It was an entire cleanup coming out from ETERNO on Oregon map 1. Then in map 2, ETERNO went on to a 5-1 split on the first half, went on to be on match point at 6-2, and then 5STARS continued to absolutely obliterate them for the entire remainder of the game. They went on a crazy comeback that you really don't see all that often. And then Villa, map 3, was a tug of war like you've never seen before. It went all the way down to round 15, even in a 5 versus 4, where ETERNO were a man down from the get-go. It was definitely a game for the ages. 5STARS ended up winning Villa on map 3, and they prevailed further on through the upper bracket. They ended up losing in the upper bracket finals against Arctic Wolves. And ETERNO, after beating Lumina Gaming down in the lower bracket semifinals, are now going up against 5STARS again to redeem themselves and to show them who's boss. So however it turns out, this will be a match for the ages for sure. And without any further ado, we are off with Chalet as our map number 1. 5STARS are beginning out on attack. This is pretty much the standard for them at this point when it comes to Chalet. They do go for a Chalet on attack first, most often. Meanwhile, ETERNO, in the exact same position as they were before in the upper bracket semifinals against 5STARS, starting out on defense, bringing a pretty much similar lineup and a similar ban phase as well that we could see with the Nook, Solis, Flores, and Mira. I say pretty similar, but it actually differs in quite a lot of ways. The biggest outlier there that I really want you to pay attention to is the Flores ban and the lack of Flores on this map, although I don't think that that's really going to be represented all that much in this particular round. If you look on the left side of your screen, you will see that Rush is bringing Maverick, which indicates that the push that 5STARS will attempt to do is this exact push that we see them doing. They will be going up from the basement. It will be a minimum 3-man push from the basement, and they will attempt to draw a little line in exactly that wall that Z7 is now keeping an eye on, that little supply room wall. They will be keeping an eye on that, or they will be trying to put a little line in there to cut off any rotations through the supply room and hopefully get themselves a kill from it. Just a second ago, we could see Z7 holding this vertical angle. He has since given it up. Zephin was trying to counter it, but Z7 has the upper hand in that situation and has now the man advantage as well. Selberg from outside, attempting to grenade Z7 from the position that he's holding currently on that chimney, but can't quite do it. Solek will find Keppa. Rush finally with an answer onto Venom, taking down the Thorn. Of course, all of her utility has already been placed, so she is still in play even without that gun. Of course, the 1.5 on that Uzi has definitely made her pick rate skyrocket quite extensively. 90 seconds to go still. Selberg trying to clear that position, still unable to really do so. Ping playing a big part in how certain gunfights are able to go, and Reaperance finds himself very early on, or very deep inside of that library. Bit of a trade coming out between Sulik, Rush, and Selberg. Reaperance is able to finance Satori, and it's all down to safes. Not a lot of time left, or actually quite a lot of time left in actuality, Saves is able to take down Selberg, who tried to grenade him from the position on that doorway, but had to back off, and grenade wasn't cooked as perfectly as he would have liked. A lot of information about Saves' current position. Reprints dropped the hatch, currently no diffuser in hand. He's just trying to shoot him through that wall. And he finds him finally. For a moment, I thought that he wouldn't, but he was able to find it. 5STARS take the first round, and this is where things might go south. If you've been following throughout these playoffs so far, you will know that this is a trend for 5STARS. They will win the first round of the map, and then they will continue to go on a really, really unfortunate losing streak, especially if they start out on attack. They will win that first round, and then they will be countered in every single way possible. This has happened time and time again. This has happened all throughout pretty much every single one of their games in the upper bracket. This is their last chance if they want to make it into the grand finals tomorrow, so they absolutely cannot afford that, especially as I don't think that ETERNO are going to allow them to do that same thing again, of going on that insane comeback of 6 rounds in a row. I just don't see ETERNO allowing them that kind of freedom again. So hopefully for 5STARS, they were able to figure out all of the ways that they were losing their rounds, and they're going to be able to remedy a lot of that and going to be able to win rounds here, because it is going to be absolutely imperative. They've locked in their operators, and Kepa, again, on that Nomad, will be the player to watch, because so far, something that we've been able to note about 5STARS, especially on Chalet, is that they really, really struggle with flank watch. A lot of their deaths come to flanks or to miss drone positions. So hopefully this time they're going to be a little bit more wary of it, and hopefully those air jabs from Kepa are able to be utilized in the best way possible. Again, I said it before, to really pay attention to the lack of Flores, as of course that will make those Kiba barriers and that top of library stairs shield that much harder to clear. Of course, they do have 2 sets of grenades in their pockets, so it's going to be that much easier, but it's going to be so much harder now that they've only got 1 set of those grenades left as Rush goes down. This is another trend that we've seen with 5STARS so far, where Rush tends to go in completely alone and does tend to get eliminated quite often. Reprints does have information about where Venom is at the moment, but are they going to be able to clear that player out in a timely manner is really what's going to decide whether this round goes their way or not. Venom trying to cross back into the bomb site, cannot do so as Zephyn is on that rappel from the main double door and was able to take him down. Solik not in a good position to really counter that, and they will equalize the man count. Now, here comes sort of phase 2 of this attack. They're going to be opening up that office wall, and they're going to be clearing out as many of those magnets and ADSs towards that shield at the top of blue stairs to try and hopefully gain access to this top floor. See, those flashes are coming out. They're clearing the players from those positions, and now the grenades will follow to clear that shield, or at least that's the way that it usually goes, and there we go. The grenade went, and it picked up the shield. D7 and Satori both quite a bit damaged, but still holding on to their positions, at least for now. Again, we see a bit of a misuse of those air jabs. That air jab was in a pretty easy to shoot position, and it will not be providing any more utility or any more safety for 5STARS to come. 30 seconds now to go for them. This is phase 3 of their attack. This is trying to clear that top floor and trying to go for the execute, but as they lose Zephyn, that is going to be oh so much harder, and Solik still on those fireplace stairs is able to take down another one. He does get down, but he's not able to get finished off. Reprints does find the opportunity to finish him off. Now a 2 versus 2 as Reprints finds C7, but Saves is there to take down Kepa, and really not even close to enough time for Reprints here in a 1 versus 2 against Saves and Satori. Can't do anything. ETERNO take the second round, and I hate to think that this might be yet another beginning of the end for 5STARS, where they are just not able to win consecutive rounds on that first half. We've seen it time and time again, and I really truly hope that that won't be the trend here today, and that they will be able to find some consecutive rounds. They will be able to slow ETERNO's momentum down before it's too late. ETERNO have brought their A game. I truly doubt that they will allow them to come up with a comeback like that again. Chalet is a very, very good map for ETERNO, sort of in a general sense as well, so I really don't see how 5STARS can get away with, you know, sort of playing like it's not that important right here and right now. Defending kitchen dining now are ETERNO. Of course, vertical setup is as important, if not more important, than the entirety of the middle floor being set up, just considering how effective that vertical pressure is on a map like Chalet, where most of the ceilings for most sites are completely destructible. So you definitely want to have that vertical setup with what ETERNO have decided will be Tachanka, and it has worked in the past, so I definitely am not seeing a problem with that at the moment, especially considering the fact that since Smoke has lost his shield, a lot of teams have decided to go for a replacement operator, and that tends to be Tachanka just because of the fact that he provides much of the same utility that Smoke used. Of course, if you bring the LMG, you can do a lot of the reconstruction. If you bring the Bearing 9 with that, you can engage in those close range and long range gunfights, similar to how you would with an SMG-11. The shield brings you the exact same utility that it always does, really. Protection and being able to hold to a certain position. Unlucky! Selberg was able to reach that floor and was able to find Solik quicker than Solik was able to find him, but Solik was just too quick on the trigger and was able to find that kill nevertheless. Selberg, the first one to go in this round, and alongside him, his Ash charges will go as well, meaning that 5STARS will have less utility to use to clear certain positions and to clear certain utility. Reprince is trying to make his way into the office now as they breach that wall, but fire shooting from below as Safes actually isn't holding upstairs and is holding downstairs inside of kitchen and dining, using those vert holes to his advantage by throwing utility or throwing those Shamika launchers through it. Rush is able to find Venom as that drone was able to spot him. I think the game is glitched a little bit because it doesn't tell us that Seldrig was watching a drone, but we could see that the drone was being currently operated. So good use of utility this time for 5STARS, good use of drones, but not good use of time because they've already wasted so much of it and they still haven't cleared out this top floor. Z7 will find Rush, who was trying to clear out that shield. They were able to clear the shield, but not much more is really gained from this particular engagement. Solik is still not letting up. He's still finding them and attacking them. An important part of their defense is the fact that they decided to reinforce that hatch. Of course, that will make it a little harder for them to rotate back down to the bomb site, but it will also give 5STARS less control should they gain control of the upper floor. With the lower wall now open as well, they are able to gain a little bit of more of an insight into the bomb site itself. Kepa is able to find one, but Z7 is on a tear. He finds 1, 2, 3. The round will go ETERNO's way yet again. And I hate to really say it at this point, but the trend continues to be true for 5STARS, where they win the first round and they are not able to hold on to that lead for any bit longer. I truly hope that this will not continue for any bit longer, as of course that would not be good for them, but can't really predict anything at this point. Of course, the following maps, should we get to see them, will be another couple of maps that I don't know how 5STARS are really going to behave on them, as of course they are Villa and Cafe. And now the issue really lies in the fact that this is 5STARS pick, and they've already lost it once. They lost their pick map, especially when it comes to Chalet already. It was just Was it yesterday? Or no, it was 2 days ago. It was on Thursday. It was 5 stars against Arctic Wolves, and Arctic Wolves, it was again 5 stars picked Chalet, and Arctic Wolves went on an absolute tear. 5 stars tried to go for a comeback. They did get close, but ultimately Arctic Wolves ran away with it, and 5 stars can't even win their own map pick, and they will be going to Villa, which, again, I already mentioned it. The last time that we saw 5 stars be on Villa was in the upper bracket semifinals against ETERNO, who, in a 4 versus 5, were able to bring them all the way down to round 15. So 5 stars are really going to have to settle themselves in, scrap themselves in, and make sure that they do not give anything away. But it looks like 5 stars are going for a rush, as everything is already set up. Rush, Will Candela into the bomb site. Kappa will use the Gara hook to go in, and they're going to try and plant. There we go. It's a complete collapse. Reaper and Selberg are able to find a couple kills. Kappa is already halfway through the plant. The plant will stick. Zephon is holding down the solarium windows, not allowing anybody to peek through. But Solik is so close on that window. Flashes are coming in through. Solik can't do much. Venom on the opposite side, trying to fight through Piano. So many of these angles are being covered. Solik completely blind, can't attack. Venom tried to make his way into the bomb site, maybe take care of somebody off the rappel, but there was nobody there, and he got taken care of anyway. Solik still trying to push up those solarium stairs, can't really do much. Too many angles are being covered, and if he peeks his head even just a couple inches closer to the left, he will get taken down from the window. There goes the drop. Solik is able to find Reprints, but now with just a bailiff in hand, he's able to find Solik, he's able to find Keppa as well, but there's no time, as 5 stars were able to win that on the diffuser time. A beautiful round for 5 stars. They were able to take that one down, equalize the score line at 2 rounds apiece, and they were able to keep themselves in this fight. Oh my god, that is rude. That is mean, but it's true. It is kind of true, I have to admit. Observer Happy in all chat said, first non-5-1 half for 5 stars, and it really just might be. I kind of don't even remember the last time that it wasn't a 5-1 half for them. Because I do believe that it happened both times against Arctic Wolves in the upper bracket finals. And I think that it happened, if not all 3 times, against ETERNO in the upper bracket semifinals. So they really love going on that 5-1, or on that 1-5 rather. But they were able to secure themselves a second round in this half, which is going to be ever so crucial when it comes to the other half, when it comes to the second half, because, of course, they're going to have one more round worth of breathing room. Whenever, you see casters or analysts or whoever put an emphasis on round difference, and specifically the round split on a particular half, the reason why that is brought into question so much is due to the nature of the game being by itself already very defender-sided. And then add in the statistics of the map itself, add in the statistics of the teams involved, and you end up with a pretty net defender-sided, calculation. Selberg, again, will be the first one to go down. Venom, undefeated in this position inside of Kitchen, and is still on a hunt for another player. I think that will be Zephon over there on the other side on that window, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not. But Venom has now got himself ever so close to that window. It doesn't look like he's going to be jumping out of it, at least not right now, or does he? No, he will not be jumping out. And even if he does, Zephon has made his way safely onto the rooftop and will be safe, at least for now. Rush, this time, was able to survive the jump in through the solarium window. Selberg wasn't quite so fortunate. Luckily, considering the fact that they did decide to replace the sledge with Twitch, they only have one set of grenades. And again, those grenades are probably the most important piece of utility that they currently have at their disposal to be able to clear that shield at the top of Library Stairs. Of course, that is a very difficult position for the attack to try and maneuver around and to try and push it to the bomb site without having cleared it. So it's going to be ever so easier to do so if they have grenades at their disposal, but their Twitch drone gets shot out before it is really able to do all that much damage, and I'm not really sure if the other one is still alive, just deployed, or if that one has also been shot. If it has also been shot, then they will just have to work with the flashbangs in the pocket of Reaper and some Keppa to try and clear that utility. That's exactly what they'll be doing, and Satori's still throwing down a couple of those magnets, but as he gets flashed out and completely blinded, he has to leave. Grenades work, and they clear that shield. There goes a beautiful peek from Reaperance as well to answer back and find Ansatori. But again, they are so slow on that phase 1 and phase 2 of their attack that phase 3, they only have about 30 seconds to go. And they still don't have library control. They do now as Keppa takes down Z7 through the window. Safes below. Inside a supply room, trying to find something on a vertical angle through the hatch. Solik back on these fireplace stairs, a position that he was so strong in before. Zephin trying to fight here, but can't do much because they have him covered from all angles. Keppa is able to trade out onto Venom. Reaperance finds Solik, but they don't have time now, and they have no idea where Safe is. They are able to find him finally before it got down to a 1 versus 1, which definitely would have hurt them, and I don't know if they would have been able to win that. But they were able to find that round, and they were able to, I think for the first time in the first half, were able to find the lead. And as I was saying earlier about the round difference and you know, the split on a half, how important that is, the reason for it is because of the amount of information that your opponents have on you and that you have on them, but also, as I mentioned, the simple breakdown of the map and how it works. You know, if you are attacking a defender-sided map and you're able to find 2 rounds on the attack, that is very, very good, because not only does that mean that you were able to find 2 attacking rounds and now, you know, you aren't on match point right off the bat, but it also means that your opponents have to make up more ground to be able to win the entire map. Because, of course, you have the advantage then. You have the upper hand because you have, you know, 2 rounds right off the bat. So if you're defending a defender-sided map and you've already got 2 rounds in the bag from minimal effort on attack, that, of course, will make it that much easier for you to equalize the score count. Let's say that it's 4-2, equalize the score line, and then also take the lead, make it 5-2, or make it 5-4 rather, make it 6-4, make it 7-4. Your opponents can't really do anything about it. 5STARS now looking at minimum an even split of 3 rounds to 3, which will be absolutely their best starting scoreline that we've seen in all of these playoffs. And Zephin is able to find Venom. Finally, he is the first victim instead of being the first killer. And that will give them quite a lot of map control as they are able to take library without much effort and without wasting all that much time. And now with those Talonite shields in place, they are going to be able to go for the pressure facing the office and bedroom. But Solik is again on the flank, and Zephin is able to find him. Watching that drone, is able to find that player, knows he's there, and now they're going to be able to hold him off no matter where he goes. Reaperance going for that wall breach. I truly hope that they have that place covered up, and they do. Selberg was there actively flank watching and was able to find Solik. Now ETERNO are in a really bad situation. And they only have 1 player remaining still upstairs, and that is Z7. He's all alone. He does have a pretty hard-hitting DMR, but when he's having to face against 5 players, that is going to be that much harder to achieve anything with. Ansatori and Safe still trying to hold the fort down in the bomb site itself. Still wasting quite a bit of time for them, so that is definitely going to be in their advantage, but how much is it really gonna do is questionable. Saves unfortunately missing those Shumika launchers a little bit, and now he's all alone as Z7 and Satori both get taken down and eliminated. Saves, and a 1 versus 5 will have to ace. Took so much damage through the wall. Is able to find Zephin to deny the flawless round, but Selberg ultimately finds the kill. And 5STARS not only win the round, but win the half at a 4-2 split. Now going on to defense, which, as I've already spoken about, is that much easier to actually play, even on Chalet, which is probably the least defender-sided map that we have in the league of all of them. A really, really good start from 5STARS, and it looks like they heard everything that I said back in rounds 1, 2, and 3, where I was saying, oh no, they are back on their trend. They are back doing, a 1-5 split on the first half, and then trying to go for a crazy comeback. But it looks like they are completely done with that. They heard what I was saying, and they said, all right, bet. And here they find themselves at a 4-2 split, heading into their defensive half. And are just might looking just might be looking is what I meant to say. Just might be looking at a map win very, very early on. Of course, being at a 4-2 split in any situation puts you at quite a deep advantage. But when you have the 4-2 split and you are defending, that will definitely make it that much easier. But of course, do not count ETERNO out just yet. They are definitely a scary, scary team, and they wouldn't have gotten to where they are if they weren't. So this is not at all over yet. And of course, regardless of how this map plays out, we still have Villa to play out, which is ETERNO's pick and is one of their best maps as well. It is a map that they were able to take 5STARS all the way down into round 15, even when they were dealing with a 4v5 and some connectivity issues. So the fact that they were able to do that round or that map definitely doesn't put doesn't put them out of this fight just yet. They do lose Solik quite early on. Early engagement definitely did not work out for them. Selberg, it looks like he got a little bit annoyed about dying first every single time, especially to that position inside the kitchen, and decided to do the work himself. Z7 now holding a potential flank from the man himself of Selberg, but it doesn't look like Selberg will be moving anytime soon. Now his drones and utility are all coming for Selberg. They are actually wasting quite a bit of time. Of course, they've only lost about a minute at this point, a little bit more than that, at close to 90 seconds now, but considering how slow 5STARS were with their phase 1 and 2, I wouldn't worry too much, but only if they actually get to it soon. Of course, they lost a little bit of utility as well with Solik. They're not going to be able to use his lifelines to clear out any potential utility in the way. But of course, 5STARS have completely foregone Wamai or Jaeger for that projectile utility or anti-projectile utility, and now as they're clearing out this shield, wow, that grenade misses. There was nothing there to capture, and the grenade missed. It missed again, and that's both of their nades. They're gonna have to use at best Z7's Ash Charges to be able to clear that shield. Very, very unfortunate there for Venom to have missed those, and Z7 is taking so much damage here as he tries to clear that shield. I do believe it's gone at this point, and indeed is, and they are able to push Zeppin away. Now in a similar situation to what we saw from 5STARS on their attacks, only 30 seconds to go, and they're just now beginning phase 3, but so many of them are just falling down like dominoes. Venom and Z7 are essentially alone as Ansatori is down and unable to be retrieved at this time. Even if he was in a good position, they don't have time. They don't have the diffuser either, and they're just gonna have to try and salvage something with the picks. Z7 can't do anything. It's Keppa with the final kill. And it's another round, the 5th in a row, I believe, for 5STARS. That's not the 5th in a row. That's like 4th in a row. Yeah, it's okay. Happy, I get it. Chill. No, that was a producer in my ears saying that I'm wrong. It's not 5th round, it's 4th round. Well, sometimes we inflate certain things for dramatic effect. So be it. It's journalism. But yes, it's correct. This is their 4th round in a row, which is quite weird seeing 5STARS be on a on a 4-round win streak, considering the fact that the only times we've seen that happen was because the other team was on match point and they had no other choice but to do so. So whatever 5STARS put in their chocolate milk this morning to make them this secure with this game, it is working. It is 100% working, because at this time, you know, Thursday, 5STARS were completely gone.
10 seconds.
And we're getting ready to, you know,
5 seconds.
press escape and leave the lobby, as the game was just about to be over. So
Attackers are heading out.
for them to be in this position and to be in quite an extensive lead such as this, very unusual. At least unusual in the playoffs, don't get me wrong. They're a very, very strong team. They had a near flawless record in the qualifiers, managed to put themselves all the way through into the Premier League after not having lost a single game in the open qualifiers, losing only one in the closed qualifiers, and then went on to have a pretty equally near perfect win streak record in general on in the actual league. And now Kepa inside of gaming room. I don't know if he's aware of somebody roaming around him. That will be Sulik. They're aware of each other, but Sulik is just too quick on the gunfire and is able to find Kepa first. As a very, very good opener for ETERNO, as they're going to be able to push in or push closer to the bomb site quicker, but Rush is there to find Venom. TCSG hit so hard, and that was close range too. ETERNO now stalling a little bit as they lose another player. Those Valkyrie cameras are giving away so much of their intentions and so much of their positions as well. They're not really able to hide themselves anywhere, and they don't have an IQ on the board either to try and escape those cameras or to try and destroy those cameras. They finally open up the wall, or I say finally, but it's actually very early on to open up that wall, especially considering the fact that Rush is playing the Kaid. He's able to find one. There's another player so close to that door. It's Ansatori, and he's getting taken down from a vertical angle that I didn't even know that they had, but of course they do. And now Sulik and Safes are all alone, trying to prevent 5STARS from going onto match point. Sulik can't really do much. He's trying to hit those shots, but it's such a far away angle with the M7 of the Zofia. And it's instead of TCSG to find that kill, put 5STARS on a map point, and we are only 8 rounds in. This is round 9 that we're going into right now, and 5STARS are on map point. I mean, if this is a month ago in the league, I'm like, yeah, completely expected. If this is where we are right now, lower bracket finals, after 5STARS have had a really tough time all throughout the playoffs, I don't know that I would have believed you necessarily. I would have been like, are you sure? The same 5STARS that we saw go on a 1-5 split on the first half every single time they've competed in the playoffs. Well, as I said, whatever they did to themselves to put themselves into this position has definitely worked, and ETERNO are now the ones struggling. Of course, it must be said, the fact that ETERNO are playing with the sub, so like isn't part of their consistent roster, so of course that affects their abilities quite a bit, but you know, that would make sense in a situation where Sulik wasn't their top frag, and in a situation where Sulik, you know, just wasn't doing his job. But Sulik so far has been really good on the position that he's been playing, going for those flanks and being very aggressive in his play style. Just really not been able to find any luck with that, and of course it's Ansatori that we look to, the man that has countless MVP titles to his name, the man that, you know, drops 20 bombs every game like it's no big deal, the man that is currently 1-7. That is definitely the head scratcher of this entire team, because it's not the sub that is, a bit lackluster. It's the captain, it's the main man that is currently not able to put up the numbers that we are so used to seeing, and that might be, a little bit, part of the issue of the fact that, there's just so much pressure on him to perform out of his mind like that, and he's just not been able to find his footing here at all, unfortunately. Selberg was getting hunted upstairs, and they were not able to find that kill, so now still spending time droning everything out, trying to find him. C4 will blow up the hatch, and they will not find a kill with that, but I don't think that was necessarily the intention anyway. I think the intention was to just break it open and allow Selberg a potential fallback should he need it. Although he's far enough away from it to the point where if he does attempt to try and fall down that particular hatch, he's definitely going to have some pushback on his way. Another C4 gets blown, and that one won't find anything either. And Satori, such low HP, is able to aid Z7 in opening up these wand walls as well. Stelberg finds the opening kill onto Sulik. Still completely uncontested where he is. Zephan is able to find Venom. And now ETERNO are really not looking too good. 3 versus 5. They do have hatch control. Z7 is able to isolate and find the kill into Keppa, but how much is that really going to matter in the grand scheme of things? 30 seconds to go. A push into the bomb site. Gets and Satori down. Saves is the next one to go, and it's all down to Z7. Reprints will finish off and Satori Z7 1v4 to keep 5STARS from winning this game, from winning this map. He's able to see the very long gun barrel of the TCSG. The Fenrir gadget opens up and it makes it impossible for Z7 to see anything. 5STARS in a completely unexpected fashion are able to take this map 7-2, secure themselves a map series point in this particular series, and are just now a step away or a map point away from advancing into the grand finals against Arctic Wolves tomorrow afternoon. I mean, there is so much to talk about with this map that I honestly don't think that we even have the time for me to cover everything. I will just say that a mistake that ETERNO made, although we didn't get to see too much of it, but a mistake that ETERNO made was not banning the Fenrir. Of course, if they had been able to pick up more rounds and it hadn't been, that much of a landslide from the side of 5STARS, they definitely would have still struggled against the Fenrir. Fenrir is a very deep arsenal operator for 5STARS. They love bringing him, and they're very strong with him. You could see Selberg there, completely uncontested upstairs, just running around those Fenrir gadgets, getting activated every which way. And that is something that they love to do, and that is why Fenrir is so often banned against them. But ETERNO did not go for it this time, and I can't really speak too much on how much it would have hurt them, considering that we only really saw one round of it, but that was definitely one of the mistakes. And, I think that there's definitely a little bit to be said about Satori just not being able to put up the numbers that we expect. Of course, he's just a man, the same as the rest of us, but when you're in this crucial of a position, maybe, not being able to reach the potential that you have reached in the past and everybody knows that you can, that really, really can't hurt you. We just saw that happen, and maybe the pressure got to him a little bit, maybe just knowing that he has to perform because this is the final chance. There's no lower bracket. There's no other chances for them to make it into the grand finals past today. Of course, there's still, the third place match, but, no one really wants that. So they're really just going to have to go into... Oh, well, in any case, as I said, there's so many things to talk about this map, but unfortunately, I don't think I even have time to get into all of it, so I just won't. Maybe on another occasion, and should we ever have analyst desks in the future. Maybe that will be the purpose of those. But for now, we'll be going on a short break, and when we return, it will be 5STARS ETERNO. Map number 2, it will be Villa. Stay tuned.
Try to forget that you were here. Some part of me wants to disappear with you. My soul and all that I could afford. So only gonna fall into what you've explored.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Revival League Season 2 Lower Bracket Finals. My name is Retro, and we are back here with 5 Stars versus ETERNO. It is map number 2. It is Villa. If you missed it, map number 1, in an unprecedented fashion throughout these playoffs, at least, was won by quite a landslide from 5 Stars. They won it a 7-2 fashion, which we have really not seen from them at all these playoffs. I don't think. Maybe in the first game that they played and back in the upper bracket quarterfinals, if I'm not mistaken. But apart from that, I really do not remember them really playing that well so far in these playoffs. It has been quite a struggle, especially on that first half. They tend to go on that 1-5 streak, or not a 1-5 streak, but 1-5 split on the first half, and then they, are forcing themselves into a comeback situation in, the following half. This is the first time they were able to break that mold and were able to not only take the lead on the half, but were able to completely win the game off the back of that, essentially, as they only really needed 2 rounds in the defensive half to be able to win the map. Now they're going on to Villa, which so far I have been saying that the last time that we saw them play was against ETERNO back in the upper bracket semifinals, where it went all the way down to round 15. But I have been notified that I am wrong and that my memory is wrong, and that the last time that we saw 5 Stars on Villa was actually Thursday evening when they were playing in the upper bracket finals against Arctic Wolves, and ended up losing that one. Quite a landslide as well. It was map number 2. We never got to see Cafe out of that game, which, spoiler alert, will be, or could potentially be, the second map, or the third map, rather, my apologies, the third map of this matchup as well. It is a 5 Stars pick, so really, well, it's not really 5 Stars pick, it's sort of ETERNO's pick, seeing as they had the last ban, but 5 Stars were able to pick the side that they wanted to start with. Nevertheless, though, 5 Stars really do not have that good of a streak on Villa. I think when they played against ETERNO, they had a alright streak. I think it was like a 2-4 maybe half. I don't think it was necessarily a 1-5. But against Arctic Wolves, best believe that it was, and they were really not able to do much with it. After they got close to another comeback on Chalet as the first map against Arctic Wolves, they really were not able to salvage too much of that run when it came to Villa. And when they played against ETERNO, who actually were on a 4 versus 5 in that position, or in that situation against them on Villa, they were not able to find almost any success for half of that game, considering the fact that it went all the way into overtime off the back of another 1-5 split, and they went on to all the way down to round 15. So hopefully this time they're going to be a little bit more successful. And Venom, already so aggressive, drones are coming every which way to find him, but he's still not really letting up. He wants to go for that jump out. He knows how crucial that 90 position is, and he doesn't want to let them get away with it. But there's so many claymores on that window, there's no way he survives, and it looks like he's aware of it. He's just going to let them go for it. The vault wall is already opened up, and that is very, very quick work from 5 Stars to open up that wall so quickly and allow them not only an entry point and a sight line into the bomb site, but also completely cut off any rotations coming up from ETERNO as well. Not to mention the fact that from that 90 window rappel, not only are you cutting off that vault for rotations, but you're also cutting off pretty much the entire bomb site of Aviator, because you can see all the way through it. They did lose that opening pick, but Rush is able to answer back quickly onto Ansator, and he's able to gain a little bit more of this map control on the side of Astra. Selberg is able to find Solik as well. Solik, the star player on the side of ETERNO. And now 5 Stars looking to try and find a round here. The first round here, rather, which tends to be the trend. It's really, down to whether or not they're going to be able to find a second round is where the metric really comes into question. But they're still pretty okay with the timings of everything. clearing out a lot of this utility and actually forcing safes from his position at the top of those red stairs. Of course, that is a very crucial position for the defense to be holding on to whenever they are defending Aviator and Games, but with that position being completely vacated, 5STARS gain so much more map control and now have direct entrance into the bomb site itself. And you can see there exactly what I was talking about how that 90 window control completely cuts the bomb site itself in half, because you're really not able to traverse through anywhere without being seen from the 90 corridor from the window. But time is being wasted. They flood into the bomb site. Kappa is able to find Z7, immediately turns around for the flank watch, finds Venom, and now it's all down to safes. And he gets taken down by Selberg on the window. Round will go to 5STARS, and now is when you start to hold your breath and you start to wonder, how is this going to go for the remainder of this game, or the remainder of this map, rather? Are they going to be able to find the second round here and completely cut ETERNO in the bud, and they're going to be able to find the lead, potentially even their second series point in this best of three, and advance into the grand finals against Arctic Wolves tomorrow afternoon? Or will ETERNO prevail and take this map? It's all so unclear right now. And as we see them go back into Aviator and Games, they're going to be trying to hold on to this round a little bit more safe. Taking onto the dock this time. They're completely foregoing. Alibi. Aha. I was like, who do they have? Everybody that I wanted to say, I looked and they already were there. So I was like, oh, who wasn't there? Or who was there but isn't right now. And it is Alibi. I said to forego the Alibi and go for the Doc instead, which of course Doc might have been a bit of a troll pick a little while ago, where it's like, why are you bringing Doc? He's only useful if you're going to be spawn peeking. But now he's actually very, very useful, considering the fact that he heals you all the way to full HP, no matter what HP you're at. You could be at literally 1 HP and you get 1 Doc stim, and you get all the way to full HP. So very, very useful for engaging in any sort of gunfight. Very, very quick work with the needle as well, or the syringe as well. So definitely a very useful operator. And now another claymore having to be placed down on the window, as the other one got destroyed by Venom's impact grenade. And they're again trying to clear that 90 corridor and trying to open up that breach again, but saves. A little too quick on it, finds Reference. I don't know if that was before or after the wall got opened up, and I think as we switch to his POV a little bit, we could hear him shoot these Selmas off the wall, and that's exactly what happened. So the wall will not be opened up, and with a complete and utter lack of a secondary hard breach on the side of 5STARS, they're not going to be able to find anything. Venom survives the jump out despite the claymores, as they were placed a little bit off center. Venom is able to find the kill there onto Zephin, drop the diffuser down as well, and it's all down to Rush and Keppa to retrieve this round for 5STARS. Back on trend, we see, as they have gone down a complete landslide here. Rush still in the basement trying to come up. Solik seems to be aware somehow of the fact that he is down below, and he's able to find that kill, just waiting patiently for him. All down to Keppa. He's able to find one. Can't quite hit the shots on the second there. Safes goes down to about 50 HP now. Keppa just holding the angle. Can see just a barrel there of the LMG of Z7, but can't quite take the shot and find the kill. Solik as well on those red stairs. Keppa finds one. Or finds the second one, rather. There goes a flashbang. It will get caught by an ADS. The second one will get caught by an ADS as well. That diffuser is being watched by Venom, so it's going to be that much harder for him to try and do anything. Thorn Trap goes off as he misses the camera. Finally takes care of the camera, but now time is ever so low. Safe, since Z7 have a cross setup for that 90 corridor, so that is not an avenue for entrance at all, and
10 seconds remaining.
again, diffuser is not in his control. He's able to find one of the saves. The Z7 is there to answer back, find the kill, win the round. ETERNO equalize at 1-1. And make us all hold our breath again, because 5STARS could be going in another 1-5 half. And, well, I know the 5STARS will be annoyed about that, but I think that 5STARS fans will be even more so.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Round 3 prep phase begins. They will be going for a trophy statue redefense first, and it will be going for quite a deep extension all the way into armor, all the way into aviator and games, which is pretty standard for this site defense. You really need as much map control as you can possibly get, as there's so many doorways and so many entrances into specifically this bomb site that if you do not have map control established via a deep extension, you're really just putting yourself into a bit of a pickle there.
Attackers
As then you're able to be completely surrounded by your enemies, who are then able to just completely isolate every single one of your players, and they're gonna be able to take the round a lot easier than they might have expected. So push back from the other side of the map, very, very important. Although to those inexperienced, it might seem a little bit redundant, but it is a very crucial part of any defensive round on Villa, but sort of in Siege in general, really. Drones are coming every which way to try and clear as much utility, but Keppa is not so lucky with his little Twitch drone that does get shot out before it's really able to do much. Another one will hop in the same window and will just be searching for utility. Brush makes his way all the way into the site itself, is able to find one onto Satori, taking a little bit of damage from the wolf door. 2 players now sitting there watching for him. Venom takes a little bit of damage, but Z7 retakes the site, is able to find Rush, and that entire pressure is pretty much completely nullified. Even more so now, the Venom was able to find reprints. Selberg there with an answer back with the saves. He does even more so as he finds Z7. Venom and Solik yet again alone, trying to salvage this round, not let 5STARS do any more damage when they still have so much time. They know exactly where Venom is, and they're able to isolate him, find him. Solik now is able to find Keppa all alone, 20 HP to his name, trying to find these players. Can't do that. It's the AR-33 for Zephin to pick up the final kill. Bit of a ring around the rosy there for both of these players. Solik and Zephin? Yeah, it was Zephin. Yeah. For a second I was like, who was that? It was Zephin. And the round goes 5STARS' way. So if you were holding your breath as a 5STARS fan, thinking, oh good lord, don't let it be another 1-5 half where they take the first round and then they are unable to do anything else for the rest of the game. Well, fear not. They won 2 rounds in the first half, so that has to count for something. And, well, it looks like they're keeping up the streak of at least denying the 5-1 lead from their opponents. Considering the fact that they were just able to do that on map 1 of Chalet. But now, ETERNO have come out with a bit of a reorder of their current lineup, as they're now bringing the Fenrir as well. Of course, I said that they made a bit of a mistake in the previous map when they didn't ban the Fenrir against 5STARS. Of course, we didn't really get to see that come to fruition too much, considering how deep of a lead 5STARS had right off the bat when they started defending. But it is still pretty much a fact at this point that 5STARS love Fenrir, and they can do quite a lot of damage with him. So hopefully ETERNO are going to be able to, predict them with that, and are going to be able to find that advantage instead Stolik is able to find Selberg, take his grenades with him, and take his silent step as well. Actually, has that rework come out yet of Nook that she doesn't have silent step anymore? I don't remember. Oh wow! I've just got confirmation from our producer that rework did indeed come in the time that I was away from Siege for a little bit. So, unfortunately, the silent step wouldn't have been able to be utilized anyway. But nevertheless, the Heidi from Cam's thing and the grenades are definitely gonna be missed for 5 stars. They are able to open up the wall into statuary, however, so that's definitely gonna be an avenue for entrance for them, at least for now, until they are able to do more. Reference trying to maybe push for an attack into the bathroom, but I do believe that position is currently being watched from inside of Astra, so there's really not much that he can do for that. And Satori, in the meantime, getting droned out. Rush is already in, taking up space behind that drone, is able to find the kill. Venom healing himself up with the Kona station. Meanwhile, Z7 is keeping the attackers in bay with those Shamika launchers. Rush now in a pretty good position to maybe isolate the player inside of Astro right now, and they do exactly that. He's taking a lot of damage, not dead as of yet. Has to rotate around. Oh wow, that was such an unfortunate timing as he was able to see Rush's back, but there was too much of a cross set up for him there. So look, is able to find Rush, however, now. 3 versus 3, 45 seconds to go for 5 stars. Zephan, beautiful peek, finds Solik. Venom and Z7 all alone. Z7 just a sliver of HP to his name, trying to hold on still. Venom taking a little bit of damage, joining his buddy in that as well. He's able to find Reference, however, despite the low HP. Zephan jumps in through the window, can't find the button to clear himself of the goo mine. Keppa is able to find the kill there onto Z7. It's all up to Venom, but they don't have the diffuser in their possession, and Venom currently has control over it, as you can see it right there in front of him. He's going to be moving around. They lined up so perfectly, he could have gotten both of them, but there's a bit of indecision there, trying to figure out who he wanted to shoot first. He did not expect both players, and instead, it was Keppa to the rescue. 5 stars extend their lead over this half at 3 rounds to 1, and are looking to take another significant lead on the first half rather, here on Villa. Map number 2, of course, Villa is ETERNO's pick, but it is not one of their best maps. Sort of about mid-range for them. They sometimes do really well, sometimes they don't do all that well, so it's sort of a gamble for them to be going here, but they went there anyway. And now it might have this might just be the perfect anti-gambling advert, because if this does not go the way they want it to go, well then it's bye-bye ETERNO, and we will be seeing 5 stars against Arctic Wolves tomorrow in the grand final, which will be a best of 5, and I do believe that I will be solo casting it, so, you know,
5 seconds left.
really, truly nothing quite like solo casting a best of 5. You know, best of 3 is one thing, because sometimes it doesn't even go all the way to all 3 maps. A best of 5 to solo cast, oh, it's gonna break me. But, you know,
Ready for a surprise.
I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it, especially considering the fact that we got robbed of it last season. We did not get that grand final best of 5. We're not able to see that happen, as Flying Monkeys unfortunately had a scheduling issue and were not able to make it on the required time, so they unfortunately had to forfeit it to Arctic Wolves. So hopefully this time it's not going to be such. Selberg already finds the kill into Z7, saves there with an answer, but Selberg is right back there. Of course, they didn't mention the rush, but they indeed are rushing the blitz, and the Finka setup did not quite work out, as Venom was able to find a couple of his own. The rush is there. Blitz pistol to find yet another one, and he's still running, but the running does not pay off as Solik is able to find him. It's all down to Selberg now in a 1 versus 2. Grenade will push Solik out of the position that he was holding up on that door, or at least will delay him for a little bit. Impact grenades flying on the walls and on the floors there. Selberg can't do anything but get shot in the back by Solik, and the round will go ETERNO's way. Is it now a good time for me to say that the reason I didn't mention the rush is because I didn't think that it would work, so I didn't want to get excited for it because I didn't think that it was going to go anywhere? Because I really didn't think that it was going to go anywhere. I feel like Villa is probably one of the worst sites to rush, and that particular, or one of the worst maps to rush rather, and that particular rush is probably the worst rush that you could go for, because it's so head on and you're just funneling in through. Expecting for that to go well is completely misunderstanding your opponent, and is just completely undermining them. Puts you in a really bad position, and now they lost a round that they really could have had if they'd gone for a normal attack, or if they'd gone for a better rush strategy, because that one's really bad. I think a better one that is tends to be a little bit more successful is the Amaru Ying rush through the skull window. Way better, way more likely to work. It takes a little bit longer because you actually have to drone and find certain positions that are clear, but it is way easier to execute. So the fact that they decided to go for this one baffles me, to be completely honest, just considering the fact that that hasn't worked in like 4 years on Villa. But, well, that's not even true. I don't think Villa has even existed in the game for 4 years. How ago did Villa get released? It was like year 3. Yeah, okay, so it has been 4 years. Okay, cool. Nearly 5. Good lord. This game is old as heck. But anyway, they're going to be going for a bit of a standard approach this time, not trying to go for a rush that really just doesn't work on Villa anymore. C4, I think that was. Or was that just a Selma charge that kind of glitched and looked weird? I think it was just a Selma charge that looked weird. I think it's the elite Selma gadget skin. Selberg stuck in a goo mine as he's trying to gain a little bit of control of this living room and of this entire side of the map. But of course, that goo mine gave this position away to the player that awaits nearby the grandfather clock, and that is Safes, whose gadgets also await all across the map to find a victim. And the first victim will be Zephin, who falls to the gun of Venom. Safe's aware of a potential push and of a potential droning. Will return or will fall back. Solik is there alongside him as Selberg was able to find the kill into C7. Take down that Tachanka, of course. With the pulse still in play, not all is yet lost. Venom being naded out and being droned out of position. Not really sure what he wants to do or where he wants to sit. And Satori all alone inside of the bomb site itself, as Solik is able to find Kappa yet again. Reaper's holding a somewhat of a flank angle, but shooting at those stairs gave away his position, and Solik all he needed to do was quick peek and find a kill. Saves through the wall, will find Rush. Sold onto Selberg yet again. Oh lord, it's 1 versus 3 now as he's on just a sliver of HP. What a beautiful shot there on Zansatori, but there's still 2 more players to take care of and those Frostmats to worry about as well. Information about their potential position is coming up from the drones, but there's still so much left for him to do, and no diffuser in hand either. They know roughly that he's probably inside of Memo, but that's all that they really have for him, and Solik will be the winner of that one. Finds the kill, finds the round. They equalize the scoreline at 3-3 in this half. And 5STARS, who had everything going for them to go for a 5-1 or at least a 4-2 split with that round that they just decided to throw away with the rush, are now on even ground. I mean, it's not that bad on Villa. I mean, it's also one of those really defender-sided maps, the same as Chalet. So it sort of will work out in their favor to have the advantage of the defense, but it's still so silly for them to have completely thrown that round away with the rush that, again, it's not so much the fact that they decided to rush, it's which rush they decided to go for, because there is a difference between a good rush and a bad rush. And, this is present across the board. Every single map in Siege has rushes that work and rushes that don't work. A Blitz Finka rush might work on a map, say like Oregon, maybe, specifically on that basement site through the blue door. It might not. It also might. But there's a way higher likelihood of it working out on that particular site than for Aviator games or on Villa in general. There's very few sites that you can really get away with a rush like that, specifically on Villa. So I'm still harping on that because I'm just confused about why that was the decision they decided to make. But nevertheless, now they took a timeout. Hopefully they discussed a little bit about what they will need to do throughout this round and make sure that everybody is on the same page. As I doubt that they were really reflecting on the first half. At round 7, it's far too late. 6 rounds have already gone. Things have already happened. There's nothing you can do about them. You just have to play the game as it goes. So you just have to think about, okay, what will we do for this half? We're not defending. We're going to have to be defending for the next potentially 6 rounds. So what can we do to make this as easier for us as possible? And hopefully they were just, getting settled onto that final strategy and onto the final pieces of information. Just, okay, Reprints, you know what to do. Rush, you know what to do. Keppa, you know what to do. Zeffen, Selberg, we know what to do. We're just going to go for it. Unfortunately, they did lose one of those Vulcan canisters. You could see, I think it was Venom saying poor Goyo in the chat. Of course, that was referring to the Vulcan canisters getting deployed prematurely in the prep phase. And of course, that is going to be a piece of utility that 5-stars are going to be missing throughout this round. Of course, ETERNO now know there's an avenue of entrance via those stairs, considering the fact that there's not going to be a Vulcan canister there unless they relocated a different one. And it looks like, it will be a potential avenue of entrance. Of course, the only thing they have to do is push Reprints out of position, which they should know how to do. Is that a jump out attempt, or am I tripping and it was just somebody shooting at it? Really, not sure. It doesn't look like it was. I think it was just Zeppen breaking the glass on the 90 window, actually, or maybe on the below window as he opened up the hatch. No, it was actually the window being opened, and the upper one looks like it's going to be opened up as well. So, definitely very, very aggressive in his current position is Zeffen, just waiting for somebody to be silly enough to actually push him. And Selberg with the P10 Roni is able to isolate and find the kill onto Venom, taking down their sneaky operator and her grenades with her. Of course, those would typically be utilized from below for a bit of vertical play, but they're not gonna get the chance to now. And Safe's trying to run up these red stairs. There's pests for him to worry about, and there's also people for him to worry about. Still attempting to do the same thing. Can't quite do so. Selberg's down below. Does so much damage with the Selberg, but fortunately the P10 Roni loses bullets so quickly nowadays. I think that's the lowest bullet count in a weapon, in like a not a DMR and not a pistol.
Located a bomb.
So an automatic weapon in the game, because it has less than the SMG-11. In any case, though, they lose Selberg, and now they're gonna have to try and defend this round without his presence. Z7 will be hoping to every star in the sky that there's no frost mat under his window still. Otherwise, that could really prove quite damaging. And just there at the edge of the screen, you could see that the frost mat is still present. I don't know if that's going to matter all that much, as Keppa and Reprints were both able to find the kills. Keppa will isolate Z7 on the window. It's all down to Ansatori. Can't do anything against the MP5K of Keppa. And 5-stars retake the lead. Take the first round of the second half. And are continuing to roll with the punches of this game. They're now just a couple of rounds away from a potential map point, a potential map and series point that will determine whether or not they go through to the grand finals against Arctic Wolves tomorrow afternoon, which will, I've already said, that will be a game, and I think whichever of these teams make it, it is going to be a game for the ages. It is going to be something that you really don't get to see all that often, especially in Revival League, where we really don't have best of fives all that often. And I think just sort of in general, in esports, best of fives are pretty rare, just because of how much planning and organization they really take. Because not only do you have to make sure that you're going to have, teams available for that and staff available for that from a league standpoint, you also have to make sure that everybody competing has the time to put away for a best of five, which of course can be, anywhere from like 3.5 hours, 4 hours to like over 5. Probably like, I think the longest that it could go is if every map goes to 15 rounds, it's like about an hour, 15 to 20 minutes. So it's like, that's easily like 6.5 hours that a best of five could be the longest. And that's, you have to plan for 5 maps all going to full overtime to be able to properly schedule yourself. And 6.5 hours is a long time to be expecting from people, especially when this isn't T1 where it's people's jobs. So of course they're going to have the time, because that's, they don't have a different job to do. At least for the most part, they don't. Kappa finds the opening pick there on the Solik. Down goes the Iana. Her nades with her. The entry frag as well, and Kappa is able to find Ansatori as well on the IQ. And Satori's still having such a hard time. He already underperformed on Chalet, and he's still struggling here. On Villa, one might say that the pressure really, really got to him, because he was, just a couple of days ago, dropping 20 bombs like it's no big deal. He had people wanting to check his MOS files just because they weren't certain that was even possible to do the things that he was doing. Of course, the MOS files were all clean. He's just a very, very solid player. We've seen this time and time again, all throughout the qualifiers last season, all throughout this season as well. Very, very strong player. It's just having an off day, and what an awful time for someone like that to be having an off day. Venom is able to find Selberg, but Keppa is right there immediately to find another one at the Venom safe, and Z7 now all alone, still trying to hold on to this round. 50 seconds to go. They're trying to push in through the living room, trying to make their way to the bomb side of kitchen and dining, and it looks like Keppa might have a little bit of vertical control on them as well. Doesn't look like he's going to have too much, though, as they've already gone past it, so it's not really going to be that useful at the moment, but there's going to be quite a lot of sound. There's going to be quite a lot of information now as well, as they open up that memo wall. Safes trying to push in through to kitchen. Z7 on the opposite side. There's still a player up on those stairs. It's Kappa just waiting for his next victim. Instead, it will be Reapers to find the next one at the safes. And Kappa will indeed find his final victim of the round. It will be Z7. Round goes 5STARS' way. They extend their lead now by 2 more rounds, or by 1 more round, but 2 rounds and a half. 5-3 for them. Just a step away now from being on map and match point. ETERNO, in the meantime, taking a timeout. Of course, 5STARS have already taken a timeout back on round 7, and so far it really looked to have worked in their favor, as they were able to find 2 rounds off the back of that. So hopefully ETERNO are going to have similar luck with their timeout, as they really need to completely dismantle whatever they've been doing and determine what exactly is the problem and how are they going to fix it. ETERNO, of course, do not want to let this one slip away. It is not one of their best maps, but of course they do really not have the luxury of just letting it go and just being like, okay, whatever. We still have another map because there is no other map. This is the only map, and something that worries me a little bit is if ETERNO really don't have that deep of a pool, and this is clearly a map that they chose, so it is a map that they felt that they were more comfortable on than, say, Border, for example, which they banned, or, I don't know, Oregon or Clubhouse, I don't know who banned which, but they got banned, so if that is a map that they don't feel as comfortable on as they do on Villa, which isn't one of their best maps, I worry for if they are able to go to the grand finals tomorrow, where it's a best of 5, so you need to have minimum 2 maps in your arsenal that you know that you can win, and then you need to be able to play the ones that your opponent has picked as well if you want to win. I worry if they do not have the depth necessary that it could become a problem. Should even, should they win here anyway, it still might not be over for them. The struggle still might not be over. And of course, if they still have to continue playing with the sub, that is really when the stars might not shine for them all that bright. But nevertheless, another round begins for them. The first one after the timeout. So hopefully we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a difference here in the playstyle of ETERNO, but Rush and Selber, whose operator icons I mistook for one another, and was very confused when we zoomed in onto Rush's POV, and I was like, huh, you're supposed to be Solus, but they're roaming down below and they're holding off any potential attack coming out this way. Of course, vertical pressure is very, very important for this map in general, but especially for that bomb site, you want to utilize as much of it as possible. And with Solog trying to gain entrance into that space, that is exactly what he's wanting to do. He's wanting to gain space, he's wanting to pick it up and be able to do some vertical pressure. He's able to find the kill there, but immediately traded out, and then some. Selberg is still tearing them completely to shreds. Satori and Z7 once again alone in a 2 versus 4, and they both step into Guman at the same time. Actually, that might have been just Satori stepping into two Gumans at the same time, and this time just being weird. Nevertheless, though, over a minute still to go for them to try and salvage something of this round. And Satori rotating to the other stairs. Can't quite do that as there's a vertical angle on him, but he is able to find the kill there on the Keppa. Z7 attempting to break that shield to give himself a bit of room to breathe. Still not going to be all that easy as he jumps into the window, into the closet. Stefan is there waiting, and it's all down to Satori. He was at this doorway just a little bit ago, had to rotate away as the ghoul mines gave him away, and now he's having to push through it again. Diffuser nowhere near him. 30 seconds to go. 1 versus 3. There goes an EMP charge, maybe to try and bait and switch. Of course, not the kind of utility that you really use in that situation, but he is able to find reprints off the back of it. Makes it a 1 versus 2, but now he's on such low HP, it's going to have to be headshots without a doubt.
15 seconds remaining.
In order to win this round. Again, no diffuser anywhere near him, and it's Zekman with a pixel angle behind the shield to find the kill. It's actually not a pixel angle, he was just, well, technically, I guess, as he was looking through the pixel of the mirror splits. The mirror slits, the shield slits, but no. Instead, it is the round 5STARS way again. They are now on the map match series point, however you want to call it, and they only need 1 round to place themselves into the grand finals. Knock ETERNO out
Locate and defuse bombs.
and compete for the victory tomorrow afternoon. Pretty much the same setup as we already saw from them on this bomb site. This time, it doesn't look like Rush will deploy that bulky canister ahead of time. And they're really just looking to lock them out for as long as possible.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Deny them entrance, deny them any sort of freedom nearby the site, or even where the extension is, as Zeppelin sets up for it all the way on the Astro side.
Ready for company.
Crossmat going down, of course, we already saw it in play quite a lot, especially from the side of 5STARS. They really, really, really love the Frost. We could see it time and time again on Chalet, I think, for both teams. If not, then definitely from 5STARS, and now we see it again. Selberg still on this very deep roam. He's known for doing that, and of course, if you remember back on Chalet, he was able to do that with Fenrir without ever really being contested. Venom making his way up from the basement, trying to find something. Selberg, in the meantime, setting up his own drones for his own flank watch. Rush currently checking cameras and making sure that they don't get caught off guard. Preference helping in that endeavor as well. Venom trying to push up from the basement still. Selberg still has really no reason to be moving from the position that he's currently in. That drone does get shot out, but not before... Oh, it actually doesn't get shot out. That means the Venom has no idea that it's there. He still doesn't, or he might think that it's a friendly drone. There was no information about the push from basement, and it Rush dies for it. And Satori will pick up Zeppin as well.
Bomb located by
All of a sudden, 5STARS, despite all of the information in the world, aren't able to find those kills. ETERNO put themselves into the advantage, but Selberg is there to find Venom. Kappa with a faraway angle, just looking there for Satori, finds a lot of HP, but can't quite find the kill. C4 deployed, didn't find anything. Now the wall open inside of Vault. It does cut the side off in half for 5STARS. And it also gives ETERNO another point of entry. Trading out the diffuser, who will be holding on to it. 40 seconds to go. This is still really good time for them. Another smoke pip gets deployed. There's only one still left. Saves. Beautiful kill there on the Kappa. Taking a lot of damage, however. How is he still alive? Only God knows. But all of the attackers are at such low HP. Only Z7 would really be able to put up a fight. The rest all really need one bullet's worth, and Reprince is able to find just that. But Z7 immediately answers, and Sulik will find Reprince. ETERNO stay alive in this one. Find another round, and they're keeping it as close as they can. We head off into round 11. Should we see this round play out in the favor of ETERNO? That means that we'll be seeing all 12 rounds of regulation and could potentially be looking at overtime, which of course wouldn't be too strange for these teams, and especially wouldn't be too strange for these teams on Villa specifically, considering that is how it went before whenever they played in the upper bracket semi-finals.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
5STARS don't want that to happen. They want it over as quickly as possible so they can begin their preparations for tomorrow. ETERNO absolutely want that to happen, and they want to take them all the way down onto Cafe, which will be a whole other ball game. I mentioned this actually before, whenever Arctic Pools and 5STARS picked Cafe to be the third map. I really have no idea what that map will turn out like for these teams.
5 seconds left.
Because I don't think... Actually, I said it wasn't them. It was Lumina Gaming and I think REH, who will pick Cafe as the third map. It didn't get there, but I was saying how I have no idea how that map will turn out, and I echo that for this matchup as well, where I don't think I've ever seen either of these teams play on Cafe, so I really have no idea how that will turn out. It's already such a lackluster map that it really could go any way, regardless of who's playing it. There's really just no way of predicting it. Well, there is a way, but it involves a lot of data analysis, and I'm not going to be doing all of that just to say who might win. Zephan by himself inside of living room, trying to hold on to that position. C4 gets blown, does absolutely nothing, except my apologies, except maybe open up a vertical hole for his teammates to be looking through. But he has to drop away for a minute now as he's being put under too much pressure, and they managed to clear that space out, managed to take control of it. I don't know, moving through closer to the bomb set itself. Was that a lag, or was he just really quick with the leaning? I think it might have just been a little too quick, but. And a lot of space on this bottom floor. I'm really sure how much vertical control they can have when all of their players are situated on the middle floor, but it might not be focusing on it too much. But maybe they should. Zephan was able to find Solik. Of course, he was first, completely uncontested in the living room, and now inside of the basement, equally left alone. Phantom doesn't really want to give away anything, doesn't really want to give him another kill. So he just rotates around, goes the other way, tries to do something else. Grenades flying every which way, trying to take as much control of the bomb site as they can, but Zephan and Selberg both find a piece of them. Safe's there with an answer, can't quite get the second, he does! Can he get the third? Oh my goodness, that is a gnarly one. Venom trying to push it to the bomb site itself, can't quite survive, and there goes Selberg on the opposite side to find safes in the end. Around the map, and the match will go to 5STARS. They are the victors of this lower bracket finals. They will close out the playoffs, and now all that is left is the grand finale between Arctic Wolves and 5STARS tomorrow afternoon. Selberg, the undisputed MVP for, at least from the game. I will get into my own MVP pick in a moment, but nevertheless, commiserations to ETERNO. Although I don't think that necessarily really applies because they had such a good run and they really gave everybody a run for their money. Unfortunately, they were not able to win the match against 5STARS twice now. It's just how the cookie crumbles, and unfortunately, I really don't want to gripe on the man too much, but I can't help but wonder how different this would have turned out if we saw Ansatori in his golden form that we are so used to seeing, to the point where when he's not behaving that way, you start to worry about, hey, are you good? Did you eat enough? Did you sleep well? What happened? Why are you not dropping, 10, 20 bombs the way that you do regularly? But I'm not so much blaming him. I think that there's so much more nuance to the game in any, regardless of how a certain player performs, to the point where to blame this specifically on Ansatori not performing, the way that we know that he can, would just be very silly and not only disrespectful to Ansatori himself as a player, but also to ETERNO as a team for insinuating that they can only really win if they have him around, but also a little bit disrespectful to 5STARS to know, hey, you can beat anybody, but you can't play against Ansatori. Regardless, though, very, very well played for 5STARS. They were finally able to break their, I wouldn't even say curse. I was gonna say I wouldn't even call it a trend. It's a curse for sure of them just constantly going on a 1-5 streak in the first half and then not being able to do anything in the second half. We're having to go for a complete comeback in the second half because they have no other choice. For them to finally break that curse and for them to go on an extensive lead on the first map on Chalet, and then to Well, to throw away one round and bring it to an even split on Villa was also pretty remarkable, considering that they've really not had that good of a track record in the playoffs, at least, of doing that. I said that the game decided that Selberg would be the MVP, and I'm so close to giving it to Selberg, but I will give it to Kepa. And listen to me here. Listen to me here. Oh God, it's actually so difficult though, because I'm just remembering what Selberg was doing back on Chalet. But I was gonna say because oh, actually never mind, because Kepa was on. He was also good. Oh, good lord, this is so difficult. I never want to decide who the MVP is again. This is truly excruciating. I know that I gave quite a big speech the other day about how this is not as easy as people think, and to try and be completely unbiased in your decision is really, really difficult. And I could not be more. I really wish that one of them dropped like 35 kills, and they were like, well, if I don't give it to him, everybody will come for me, so I don't have to make the decision. Because this is awful. Because I feel like Kepa was definitely the stronger asset on Villa, but Selberg was that much stronger on Chalet, and he wasn't alone in that. I think there was also Zephin back on Chalet that was also really strong, and he was also pretty strong on Villa as well. But it takes both maps to be the absolute asset of your team. And because Selberg, I believe, already has an MVP title to his name, I know that he has a couple from the regular season, and I think that he has one from the finals as well, although let me check because I do not remember. But I think that he does. Oh, that's so much worse. I just checked and neither of them have an MVP title from the playoffs. I want to cry. This is impossible of a decision to make. Could I give it to both of them, Happy? Oh my god. Okay, well there we go. The decision was made for me. I wanted known that I did not make this decision. I've been told that the MVP was already given to Selberg, so it's Selberg. There you go. Enjoy it, Selberg. I never want to decide who the MVP is again. It's so difficult. You might think that I'm just, like whining too much and it's not that difficult, but it really is because you have to take into account so many different things. And the thing is, I don't have the data here for me. I don't have, the data of like, oh, this guy had that much cost and that guy had, that KD exactly. And that guy had that many headshots and that was the exact amount of utility that he used that was useful to the team. I don't have that. So I just have to sort of come up with it from the top of my head from just the impressions that I get. And that is very difficult to do. But in any case, it was given to Selberg. So there you go, Selberg. Enjoy it. But at the same time, the MVP, at the end of the day, doesn't really matter that much because it is still a team game. One player cannot win you the map, the round even, definitely not the entire series. You need the entire team working to their best and strongest abilities. And I think that is exactly the example there for ETERNO that, they needed their entire team and they just didn't have it because I made my point about Ansatori, but I think that they as a collective made certain mistakes and really weren't able to hold on to the leads that they might have had. Maybe the droning was a little bit lackluster. Some of that utility wasn't where it was supposed to be, and they just weren't able to find those rounds. So, it's a team game at the end of the day, so the MVP is really just more for fun and to, I guess, destroy my mental health completely. But at the end of the day, it is a team game. You need the entire team, and the entire team, if you win, the entire team is an MVP because of how much synergy you need to do and how many things need to happen and need to be set up correctly for your opponent to be able to, or for your entire team to be able to win that round. Because even if the top fragger has 25 kills, there's still a component that isn't measured in the game statistics, and that is how did he get those kills? Did he get yellow pings from his teammates? Did he get a call out from his teammates? Was the setup so perfect that they had a cross that it was it came down to just who would pull the trigger quicker, him or his teammates. So there's really so much nuance to Siege that the MVP at the end of the day doesn't really mean anything because of how important it is for the entire team to be on their A game to be able to win the game. And well, I've rambled on about that enough. I won't ramble on for any longer. I will save my voice for the best of 5 tomorrow, which, as I said, I will have to be casting it solo. So that will be quite a lot of fun. But in any case, thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to stay subscribed to this channel so that you know when we next go live. It will be tomorrow and then not again until next season, most likely. I've been Retro. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a good night. Bye-bye.